Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, because currently, after breaking this descending trend line, we are still just falling. First of all, we have a new descending trend line in the charts here. So I am looking for a potential break of this early next week, because that could be a potential reversal signal. However, until we actually break that, Bitcoin is still just making lower highs and lower lows over and over again. Besides that, you can see that the volume is incredibly low here, which is pretty typical of what you would see inside a weekend here. Another factor contributing to this low volume is that we are very close to the holidays, so perhaps people are just taking some time off the charts just for a little bit. But either way, I am looking for more volume to come back into the market. I'm also curious to see what the Bitcoin ETFs are going to do. What we saw here at the end of last week was some pretty massive outflows. We saw close to $700 million worth of outflows in a single day. And then the day after that, we saw close to $300 million. So close to $1 billion worth of outflows in just 2 weekdays. So that is why in next week, when the Bitcoin ETFs start trading again, I will keep an eye on this to see if we are going to get more outflows or more inflows, because like I talked about in yesterday's video, if we are going to continue to see hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin being sold every single day here, this is going to have a downwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price. Besides that, taking a quick look at the 1-day time frame, we are still just seeing this bearish divergence play out in the charts, which is when you have higher highs in the Bitcoin price and lower highs in the RSI momentum indicator. And typically the way you see a bearish divergence like this on the 1-day time frame play out is either in the form of some choppy sideways price action or some bearish momentum on that 1-day time frame. So far, obviously, we have seen quite a lot of bearish momentum, but of course, we could also just chop this for a little bit before potentially resuming to the upside once again. Before you can even consider being bullish here once again, you would need to see a break of that descending trend line that I talked about earlier. And ideally, you would also see a break above 97.6K for the Bitcoin price. And until then, guys, we are simply in a downtrend here. So be careful if you're longing Bitcoin over and over again and you keep just getting stopped out. Make sure to avoid that beginner mistake and look for some actual reversal signals before taking those long positions once again. And of course, I am talking about swing trading. I'm not talking about scalping. Scalping, which is what I do most of the time, is not what I'm talking about in this video here, because when you're scalping, you can simply take a long position here and already close out your trade as soon as you see this momentum weaken. So of course, this is something very different than what I have been talking about here so far. Either way, let's take a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. First of all, on this 2-week time frame, notice how earlier we swept a bunch of liquidity to the downside. Right now, if we just take a look at this 2-week time frame, most of the liquidity is in fact to the upside, already sitting, for example, at 98.2K. And there's also quite a bit of liquidity sitting at 99.5K, whereas most of the liquidity to the upside is sitting at 108.5K for the Bitcoin price. Now, if you want to get a complete picture, we should zoom out all the way to the 1-year time frame, because then you can see that we still have a big pocket of liquidity to the upside at about 108K. However, there is also a lot of liquidity to the downside, sitting as low as about 88,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. And that's why I'm saying be careful with those long positions, because so long as we are not breaking the downtrend here, we could simply be targeting this 89K level to sweep all of these long positions. Either way, this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.